Hey everybody, Steve here. Hope you can hear me okay. Again, no wireless mic, so I'm trying this. Sound seems to be working okay. Just finished a workout, getting ready for work. I'm gonna make myself a smoothie. I heard something today as I was on the treadmill today. I was doing. That's about how fast I was moving. No, I was moving like. Today I heard something today on a podcast today that I was going to share with you. So I thought I'd make myself a smoothie. You can watch me while I make it. And then I'll go in there and talk a little bit about what I heard today. It's pretty good. It's about some ways to encourage children and also other people, some thoughts on that I thought was really interesting. So anyway, let's get cracking here with the smoothie. So I'm going to experiment, try to do all this in one take here. You guys see that okay? Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna go with this Labin here. This is like buttermilk, but it's a little easier to drink. I don't really, never really took a big old slug of buttermilk at home, but this is cultured milk Labin. Here, and you get in the Middle East, I'm gonna put a little bit of ginger powder in here, because I've heard that kind of absorbs some of the sugar in your body, kind of counteracts it a little bit. So I've got some spinach. I'm getting all healthy and everything. Normally, well, not normally, but I'm tempted to put ice cream in here. That wouldn't make a very healthy smoothie. Be tasty though. I'm gonna go with a big spoon of peanut butter for a little bit of protein. Getting protein in the Labin also. The buttermilk here. I love peanut butter. And then I'm going to go with some frozen strawberries. I'm sorry, blueberries. Look at the color, like colorblind or something. With blueberries. I think that's everything I wanted to put in there. Top goes on. Put a little bit more in here, just kind of, it's pretty thick. All right. That's better. All right. Pour myself a big old frosty glass of smoothie here. Trying to eat a little bit better. Failing mostly. All right, let's go on there and chat. All right, so I was listening to a podcast today. I've kind of gotten hooked on this one. It's called Smartless. It's pretty funny. Jason Bateman from that show Ozark and Teen Wolf 2. And Will Arnett and Sean Hayes, and they're all buddies, and they have this podcast. Anyway, they were interviewing this guy named Mitch Hurwitz, who produced the show, developed the show Arrested Development, which is a pretty funny show. You like that kind of humor. Anyway, he said something today. He was talking about, he does a lot of reading, and he was talking about, let me try this first. Tasty. Okay, so he was talking with encouraging kids, and of course this can be more broadly applied to anybody really. And I'm a big fan of encouraging others and lifting them up, and I really like that. And it's something in society that it's hard to do. We make it hard, it seems like. Anyway, he talked about this study they did, and he was talking about telling kids they're smart versus telling them they work really hard. And I thought this was really interesting. He talked about a study they did. They took third graders, they took them, split them in two groups. They gave them a third grade math test. And they did, it was some of the brighter kids, I guess, or whatever, but they all did fine on it. Half the group, they said, boy, you did really well on this test. You're really smart. The other half did fine on the test. They said, hey, you did really well on this. Boy, you really work hard. And it was really interesting because then they took these same third graders and they gave them a fifth grade math test, which was beyond their scope, beyond their capabilities. And they knew that. So the kids took the test, and it was really interesting. They found that the kids that had been told, hey, you're really smart, tended to give up quicker. And they gave up quicker on the test, and none of them were going to pass it. But the kids that were told they were smart gave up quicker. The kids that were told, hey, you work really hard, kept going longer. And they all eventually got to the same point where they didn't do very well on the test at all. But his point was, and I think it's a very good point, is if you're just told you're smart, because humans tend to discount praise that they don't think is earned or seems just superficial praise, like smart, you're smart. What does that mean? And it really, to us, I mean, what does that mean? And the kids the point he was trying to make was the kids that are really smart had a lot to lose. They got to this test where they weren't doing very well, and they're like, well, I must not be very smart. And they tended to quit sooner because they had a little bit more to lose. And the kids that were told, hey, you work really hard, were like, well, I work really hard. I'm going to keep working because I work really hard. And the end result, of course, that none of them did very well on it, but the kids that spent more time working and trying and everything else were able to glean a little bit more out of that situation. They were able to learn something more other than the fact that they think they're not smart. Now they're like, well, I work really hard. I didn't do very well on this test, but boy, I learned a couple of things here. And I just thought that was really insightful. And I think about that a lot with when I used to talk with my boys when they were younger, played baseball. And that was a lesson I was always telling them, always try your best. You may have somebody out on the field who's better than you, but never let them outwork you. Because there's going to come a time when that person who's been told, hey, I'm really, you're really good, well, maybe they might have an off day or something like that. And that's the time when you can triumph. And I think about that a lot. I think about William, my second son, when he was younger. When he was in high school, he took a Japanese language class. We were in Seattle at the time, which in South Carolina, I couldn't even imagine having something like that. We had Latin, Spanish, French. Those were our three languages when I was in high school. So Japanese, boy, that's really cool. Anyway, he really had a tough time with that class. And he really had to knuckle down and work hard. And I always remember talking to him and telling him how proud I was that I think he got like a B's. And then finally he was able to kind of sneak out an A, I believe, as I recall. But I really made a point to say how proud I was of how hard he tried and how much effort he put in and how proud I was of that. And talking with kids about that and telling them that, you really try, you really put the effort in, you really go the extra mile and try these things. And it seems to resonate more. So I heard about this test and it really resonated with me because I'm like, I really tried to do that with the kids. There's always going to be somebody smarter than you. There's always going to be somebody stronger than you out there. And so always try hard. And so expanding this concept to a larger means when encouraging other people or telling other people, I always talk about that, about the I love me game. And I've talked about that before. Some of you have mentioned that, going around the table and every person tells, they pick a person and everybody tells something they love about that person. Being specific and this is what I love about you specifically, not just I love you or hey, you're smart, or hey, you're strong. It's I love the fact, that you're in the gym every day, really trying, and you always walk out of the gym sweaty, or you really put all the effort in, or hey, you really study hard and you really put the effort in and you're paying attention and you really take school seriously, or those kind of specifics. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. Anyway, I don't wanted to share this. I haven't done one of these chats in a while, and I hope I don't take it for what you will, but I think being specific with people and telling them that and those types of things, and I think is a lot more value added for folks. I certainly like to hear that. Why do you feel that way about me? Arlene told me something last night. We were talking, and she had watched a movie, and she said that there was one particular character she really was watching, and she goes, "Boy, that really reminds me of you." And she told me why. It says you're well-read and intelligent, smart, and she said, "Oh, smart," but she said, but you always. She said her mother says this about me all the time, how anytime we go places or whatever, museums or, battlefields or whatever, and I always look at it ahead of time, and I'm always like a little bit of a tour guide and point out things and always take the time to teach and all that. And that meant the world to me. I really appreciated that, Arlene telling me that. So that's the point I'm trying to make. So it all kind of tied together, and I heard that today, and it really means a lot. So think about that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little chat. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my smoothie, and then I got to get to work. So hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.